Hey guys, I apologize for the hiatus. We've been busy doing some work for woogieworld.com, which is one of our websites for kids. So actually, if you have any kids, you can go check it out. It's WOOGIWORLD. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about vibrato, and there are three issues that I'm going to address. One is making sure that you don't clamp down with your neck when you're vibratoing. Another one is how to avoid getting your left arm sore. And the last one is controlling your violin so it doesn't get all shaky, out of control. So let me address them in that order if I can remember what order I put those in. Okay, first one is clamping down your neck. Okay, so this is in my shoulder, keep your shoulders down video, but basically when I bring my violin up, I just keep it, I keep my shoulder down first of all, and then I put it up, and you see how I'm holding my violin up here? I'm actually holding it, let's see, like this, where there's a space between, I don't know if you can see this, space between my violin and the little groove in my thumb, between my thumb and my first finger. There's that groove right here, and I'm keeping the violin suspended just above that little groove. You should be able to see the violin through that little groove. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm lifting with my left hand, which takes a lot of the squeezing out of your neck. Okay, so people can hold their violin like this. If you get your violin up underneath your chin and just let your chin rest, great. You know, you can hold it like that. If you bring your hand up like this and hold it, then if you take your neck away, then you're still holding your violin up. And so what I like to do is I like to alternate between the two. So when I'm vibratoing, it's a combination of the two. It's a combination of me holding it very lightly with my neck, not clamping down at all. In fact, sometimes I don't even put my neck on the violin, which to me is fine. I don't know what you guys think, but that's how I play, is I let my neck sometimes wander a little bit because it's my arm that's taking care of most of the lifting on the violin. It does take a little bit of time for your arm to get used to this lifting feel, and so your arm probably will get a little bit achy the first time you try this. Lifting it up with that little space in between your thumb and your first finger. But what it does is it gives you the flexibility to move through positions without ever clamping your neck at all. See, I'm not even using my neck at all. See that? So no neck. Now the reason why I put my neck down is for the really, really intense vibratos. Let me think of a passage. How about the Mendelssohn Second Movement? Okay, now if you can see here, if you look close enough, my violin is shaking, but what I'm doing is I'm lifting my violin up just, you see how this is kind of at a flat angle with the horizon, so it's basically parallel to the ground. I'm holding it up just slightly higher so that when it shakes, it's shaking into my body right here at my neck. So that vibration, the shock of that vibration is being taken by this big part of my upper body here, and so it's being dispersed, so I don't feel it very much at all. In fact, it doesn't really do anything to me. So I could do this for a long time. Just have that wiggling effect where it's bouncing against not my collarbone, but around where the flesh is. I don't have a whole lot of flesh, but around where that flesh is, bouncing it back and forth, and then my hand is wiggling. Okay, my hand is wiggling, but most of the action is originating from my elbow down here. So if you can see that. Okay, this is a complete exaggeration of the motion, but I'll keep it typically around here, just a little bit higher, and then when I vibrate and it gets more intense, it's vibrating into my neck and this fleshy part, so that I don't have to worry about clamping down my neck onto the chin rest. So with that, you can get a nice rich sound. Remember to bend your finger backwards and not forwards. If you try to bend your finger forwards, you'll lose your vibrato, and then your pitch won't bend as much as it's supposed to. Always keep your finger going from normal position backwards. Normal position backwards. The other reason to do that is your human ear naturally hears the highest position of your finger, and so if your finger were to move forward, it would create a higher pitch, and then the entire note sounds sharp. Whereas if you bend it backwards, then you're still hitting the note at its peak, and it sounds in tune. See, that's a B, but if I tried to move it forward, see how it sounds sharp? But if I move it backwards, then it sounds in tune. So keeping your shoulder, keeping your neck from getting cramped. That's one way to do it. In fact, I guess I probably addressed all three. The left arm aching, if you hold it at the right angle, a lot of that weight that you're putting upwards, or I guess the lifting action that you're putting through your muscles, will be counterbalanced by your arm. Because it's at an angle, it starts to rest just barely into your body a little bit, and your body takes some of that gravity away from the left arm. Again, you will have to probably get used to lifting your violin with your arm, but I assure you that if you will shift with your arm horizontally as well as lift it vertically, then your arm takes control of all the shifting, and then your shifting gets a lot more accurate. And then the last one is the violin shaking out of control. It's okay for the violin to shake. If it doesn't shake, then you won't get the same resonance. In fact, it kind of helps to spin the sound out if the violin is shaking. You see where the F holes are and where the sound spins out. So it's good to shake it. The uncontrollable part is typically if you're bent down like this, and you try to do it, there's no gravity helping it tilt into your body, and so nothing's taking the shock. And so you'll feel it more in this one spot of contact, whereas here, it's dispersed over a larger area, and you don't feel it as much. So what I suggest to you in practicing is when you pick up your violin, make sure that your shoulder stays down, and when you put it in to where your neck is, to lift just barely so that the violin is resting against your body, and then get your violin so that there's just a small space here, and your violin fingerboard area is being contacted by this point here. And then you can get that nice sound. So give it a shot.